Hi, everybody. Today we're going to talk about Dungeon Crawler Carl by Matt Dinniman. Hold on one second. Let me look on my. Okay, so Dungeon Crawler Carl was published in September of 2020. It was recommended to me by a coworker. They lent me the book, and I read that book really super fast. I enjoyed the book. Just going to tell you right up front, I had a lot of fun reading that book. It is a story. Actually, it's a series of 8 books, and Dungeon Crawler Carl is the first book in the series. Carl is an ex-Coast Guard person. He's no longer in the Coast Guard, but that's what he used to do. And all of a sudden, the world ends. Everybody that was inside of a building or a dwelling place or inside something, like instantaneously were gone. And if you were outside, you were still alive. And that's the premise of the book, right? So Carl and his girlfriend's kitty cat, Princess Donut, she has a long name. I don't have the book in front of me to give you the whole name. She is a show cat. She is a Persian cat, and she has won many, many, many awards at cat shows. And she just happened to be outside. Carl went out to get her. She had climbed up a tree or something like that. And then everything happened. And it was like everything just collapsed. And if you were on the outside, you were left there. And so what happened was a bunch of aliens, like an alien race or some kind of alien corporation, decided that this was the next planet that they wanted to hold their dungeon crawler games at. So if you've seen Survivor, some show like that, that's what's happening here. Only you're not out in the middle of the boondocks, you're actually underground. So underground, there are several different layers. Right now, I can't remember if it's 18 or 19 layers, and they go progressively deeper down into the earth. And you're basically playing a live action video game in front of the whole universe. There's so many beings watching, whether they're aliens, other human species, whatever. They're all watching it and placing bets on you and favoriting you and liking you and sponsoring you and all this kind of stuff. And it's great. It's just great. They have to go and figure out Princess Donut and Carl have to figure out how to survive in this world. And it's set up like I said, it's a game. Only the consequences are life or death. So yeah, you're you could die, and that's not cool. And as you progress through the levels, there are different types of bosses. So if you're familiar with, normal video games, I kept thinking of Mario Brothers. That's what I used to play. You got those different bosses and the different levels that you would have to beat before you could go to the next level. And in those games, you moved up. And in this game, you move down. You go deeper into the earth. And so they have a certain length of time that they have to complete each level, 1 through 19. And this book gets them, I think they got through 3. Oh man, I wish I had the book in front of me. This covers a couple of levels, and they get to choose, like, the players get to choose what name they're going to be and all this kind of stuff. And they get to a point where they get to choose what kind of creature they're going to be. So you know how in some role-playing games, you get to choose like what you look like and that sort of thing, and the attributes that go with what you look like or your character. Well, they get to do that too. Yeah. Not at this level, though. They have to get down to the 3rd level to decide what species they're going to be and the attributes of that species. And Carl and the cat are a team. The cat is not considered a pet, so you can go with your pets, but your pets don't get any attributes. So you're responsible for your pets. I'm sorry, I'm itching. My leg itches. So you can take your pets with you, but sometimes your pets are actually players. So they have to, when you start, you have to go through a tutorial. And the tutorial is horrible because stuff can happen to you in the tutorial, but it's a relatively easy level. And they win like loot boxes and stuff like that. So Princess Donut wins a loot box that allows her to talk. So she has all of these skills and she's no longer considered a pet. Now she's an independent player and they are a team. So Carl and Princess Donut are a team. And it's hilarious. It's so funny. The way that they talk, the way that the cat talks, the way that Carl deals with her, the way they interact with other players and the bosses and the little, like in Pac-Man, you have little ghosts coming after you. So all the little things, the annoying things that come after you, you have to deal with. And it's so much fun to just watch. I'm saying watch because this is in my head, to watch them playing it. And it's just like, I felt like I was there. And then some of the bosses, you don't know if they're actually humans. Like, were they trapped or kidnapped? Were they former players who they have now tweaked to be a boss in the game? And there are different types of bosses: neighborhood bosses, burrow bosses, big bosses. And you have to get to the stairs, but you can't get to the stairs to the next level earlier than 6 hours prior to the time period being left. And you get the what do you call it, the corporation, their sponsors, their game announcers or whatever. They'll have updates at the end of every day, and they'll tell you how many players were in the game, how many players are left. And then they'll also highlight certain players, and that's just to build up hype so that these people can be sponsored and have patrons who will send them special loot boxes and all this kind of stuff. And I have so many questions. I'm like, well, wait, what happens when they get down to level 2? Level 1 goes away, right? So in the game, each level like collapses on itself. And I'm like, well, what's going to be left over? And what happens when they get down to the bottom? Like, what happens to the people that win? Do they actually win anything? Do they get to stay alive? Do they get to go, is Earth rebuilt, or wherever they live rebuilt? And so it's just crazy, the amount of creativity that went into this story. And I really, really enjoyed it. In fact, I already have the second book on hold at the library. And they only have I think our library had 19 copies, and I'm number 20. I'm the 20th person in line. So it's going to be a minute before I get that second book. But I can't wait. I'm like, yeah, let's go, Carl. Let's go, Donut. I just love these two so much. And yeah, I don't even know what else to say. What else should I say? I think you'll enjoy it. Go down in the comments. Tell me if you've heard of the Dungeon Crawler series by Matt Dinniman. Tell me what you think about it if you've read it. Do you plan on reading it? Are you going to read them back to back to back to back if they're available to you? If you haven't read it or you don't have a copy yet, go to your library. As I said, I placed the second volume on hold. So I'm waiting for that to come in. But go to your library, check it out there. I think it's really popular right now. I'm not sure if it's a TikTok thing. I'm not on TikTok. I'm not going to do TikTok, but I don't know if it's one of their things. Like there's a book club out there that tells everybody about it. I've also heard that the audiobook is really good. There are sound effects and all that stuff. As I said, I read the book. I didn't listen to it, and I enjoyed it very much. Maybe I'll go back and download an audiobook and see what that's like. I'm just worried that the characters are not going to be like how you imagine in your head, like the voices you create for your characters. Yeah, but I enjoyed it very much. As I said, go to the library, check it out if you want to, and if you really like it, go out and buy the book, or buy the book right now. I don't just. It's up to you how you want to do it, but I recommend going to your library first. Tell me down in the comments again what you're reading, what you recommend to me while you're down there and while you're in the real world. Be kind to yourself and be kind to each other. All right. Thank you so much for coming. Let me think. Nope, that's it. Thank you for watching. Bye.